Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here, and some of you who follow pretty faithfully and watch every week, I owe you guys an apology because I did not get a video out this weekend. It is Sunday afternoon, and I did get a video out this week, but it's usually on the weekend, and if I throw an extra video out there to be in the middle of the week, well, this last video was in the middle of the week and I haven't gotten anything out this weekend, so I owe you guys an apology, but it is not without good reason. Because I really do have a lot going on here these last few days, and it's not over with yet, but it's exciting news, and I am really happy to be able to share this with you guys. But first, I wanted to show you what I have been doing out in the boys' pen. This is the buck pen, and I don't know if you're going to be able to tell by the camera, but I have taken that row of fence down over there and this roll of fence over here. Remember, I was trying to get this put this stuff up so that the ducks couldn't get back in, because I want to eventually keep the ducks out of the bucks water, and I want to put Caleb over here. I want to get the dogs, well, I don't want to get Eddie and Gertie out of the house, but I want to get the dogs out of the house and have them at least spend most of their time outside and not running in and out, because that is not working for me. So let's go in here. Let me show you. This was working okay until I hit it with a mower. That was my fault. But I'll fix it. But let me show you what I did. So I had to get this fence up. Now there's a little bit back at the very back that's left, but most of this is gone. I need to get over there and mow. It's just kind of high for a mower. Probably have to, I don't know, weed eat some of it or raise the mower up or something, so that I can mow it. But I did get all this fence up. All that's left here is the T-post. As you can see, I did mow some of this. I was just going to mow the border so that I could work with the fence. And then I got carried away and started mowing. Then I ran out of gas. So I went to go get gas. And I brought it back out here to mow, and it started raining. So then I put it back and never came back to it. When it quit raining, I came out and worked on the fence. So that's the story behind the half mowed yard. But I have a whole pile of fencing rolled up, wadded up, whatever, you've seen it. As I'm walking out this way, as I pass the little tiny home or shed or whatever. But this fencing I put on the border of the fence here. Instead of using that black stuff, I'm gonna use this fencing, which is a lot better. It's a lot better, and yes, it is zip tied. It is zip tied. That's the way I like things, but the ducks are not gonna be able to get through that once I get them out of here. So all I have left, it comes all the way over here. Stops right here. And I'm gonna cut these off, don't you worry. I know that's too tempting for goats. I'm going to cut all those off. All I have left here is half a cattle panel here. And then this has got the black stuff on it. I don't know if the camera's showing it. I'll put some more zip ties there, and then I'll come back over and fix what I tore up over here. I would like, as well as that worked out over there, I would like to do that all the way up front here. I just that would require getting in that pile of fencing and get some more out and cutting it and bring it out here. Pulling this down right here with it already here and putting it out there, that was enough for me. That was hard enough for me. So I don't know that that's ever going to happen. And it might on a cool day, that might happen, but for right now it's not going to. And there is still a duck sitting in there. So these two are over here. I'm leaving them alone, not going to mess with them. A subscriber said that I should put another T-post, another board right here, just one more out here, and put another shade cloth there, and that would take care of, that would give them a lot more shade. I agree with that, and that is what I'm going to do. The only thing that has stopped me so far is, one, not ordering the shade cloth, but I have injured my elbow, my right elbow. It's pretty sore. It's pretty sensitive. I don't know how I did it. I don't really remember doing anything, but it feels like I've pulled something, but it affects my whole arm. Well, from my elbow all the way down to my wrist. My grip, doing this right here, it's tender. I feel that. Extending it really hurts. This is fine. I don't really feel any discomfort like that, but so every movement that I make with this arm is kind of sore and at times painful. So when you talk about putting in T-post, I'm gonna put that off. Now, what I will do or gonna do, I brought this 16-foot cattle panel over because you can see here I made a gate out of this with one of them little spiral thingies. That was really cool. That was fun. So I'm gonna cut this cattle panel and I'm gonna make this gate, instead of from here to here, as you can see right here, I'm gonna extend it from that same point to over here so that I can get a riding mower in there. And I don't know why I didn't think about that. Well, when I first put up this fence, this was not all open where it would need a riding lawnmower, so I guess that's why I didn't think about that. But that way that I can get that rider in there and mow all that with a riding lawnmower as I need it, because you can see that the goats do not keep it down, and when I put Caleb out there, I've got to keep it down better. That's just not fair. That's not fair to him. And what's funny is when I got out here and started mowing, they started eating. When I pulled the fence up, they started eating eating where the fence line was. Like the stuff that they were leaving there before, when I came in and started working on it, well then all of a sudden it's good food and they wanted to eat it. And so one other thing I wanted to show you is I know some of you see this and you notice it and you think, why hasn't she gotten rid of that yet? But I do still need to get this up that I took from the girls' pen when I extended their pen. I will be getting that up. That will, hey Cal, that will need to be done with like a tractor or something, because the grass is all grown in it and everything, and I can't get it out, not by myself. So I will need to be getting that out. I know that. I've been out here in the last 20 minutes or so. The Laughing Rooster, Joker, and Batman have been having a crow off, and it's pretty funny. And so we're about done with what I need to do over here for a while. I do want to put up another shelter, not a third one, but I want to take one or both of these down and make a bigger shelter. If Caleb's going to be out here, they need something better. He needs something better. He's a dog. He just does. So we're almost done with this. We're almost done with the buck and duck problem that I've been having. Some of you are like, good, let's get past all of that. But I think we're kind of figuring this out. Oh, the other problem that I needed to work on though is the chickens are used to roosting right here where this fence is. I need to figure out a way to keep them from roosting there, to get them used to roosting somewhere else, pretty much anywhere but there, because the reason Caleb has not been out with the girl goats is because he will kill a chicken or a duck or something, and that's why, I mean, I can't trust him around birds, so that's why I'm putting up the fencing. One of the reasons, I want them out of the water. I want the ducks out of the water for the goats, but I'm putting the fencing up also so the ducks can't get back in there and get killed, because Caleb, he'll kill them. Okay, so what's been going on here, what's really keeping my attention and distracting me, is the work that is going on outside at my house. We're finally getting someone over here to work on the well. Getting the tree down by my house. There's a tree that, if you guys remember, I think it was last fall, a big limb fell off of the tree because it was rotten, and it landed on top of my car and just smashed the top part of it, the front end, broke the windshield. Had to take it in, and it was a mess. So the other day when the storms came through, all the rains came through from the tropical storm, another huge part of that tree fell, and so we got someone out here to take down that tree. We got the guy that had said that he was going to work on the well. We got him out here, and they started working on that well. And then also we got a guy going to come out actually next week to measure for a new fence for my dogs. We're doing this under a contractor where he He contracts these companies out, and he's getting a hold of everyone. Our luck has not been good. If you go back and watch the videos, or if you've been following along, our luck has not been real good about hiring the right people to do the right job, getting screwed over, to be frank, especially when we got that guy to go under the house and do some work under the house, and he just hid the 2x6s under the house. And I don't know, maybe he was playing video games while he was under there, but he was under there and he didn't get anything done. So got a guy that's taking care of everything, and they started that on Friday and made a big mess all up in the front yard, and that's where I spent my time, and that is why I don't have a video out this weekend. But they started digging the trench so that they can bury the water lines for the well. We're going to run the well to there are 2 hand pumps outside, or you know, you open the pump and water comes out. I don't know what you call it, hand pumps, I don't know what you call it, but 2 faucets or whatever. So we're running lines to those 2 faucets. One's by my outside faucet at the house, and one's over by the fence on the other side, where sometimes I put the cows when I separate them, or gonna move them, or gonna work them. And so then also we're running lines to the house. We're gonna run it to the piping, the plumbing at my house. And so the next time the water company turns off the water, because they've done that a few times since I've lived here, I can there'll be a switch where I can switch over to well water, so I will have water. I guess the only problem would be as if I didn't have electricity, because, well, the well wouldn't work without electricity. That tree has come down. They spent 2 days working on getting that tree down. It was a pretty good sized tree, and I'm about to take you guys out there and show you what all they got done. So even though it took a while, it took up my time, and there's a mess up there, and things are a little bit more difficult right now. We're making accomplishments. This is, you know, progression, and that's something that I haven't seen in a long time over here. So I'm glad. I'm sad that tree had to come down, but I'm also glad because every time a storm came up, I did worry about it, because I didn't know how much of it was dead or rotten. It had a lot of leaves on it, but the tree it was a maple tree. Those break easily. Those don't last long anyway. So, well, this one did, because it was pretty good size. So I'm glad to get that down. Also, we discussed the fencing. The guy's going to come out tomorrow to measure the fencing. For as many dogs as I have, my backyard is just not big enough, and so I'm definitely going to increase the yard for the dogs. It's going to be quite a bit bigger, and I'm looking forward to that getting done and being able to show you that. So, but for the yard, the only thing you're going to see is where they dug the trench for the water pipes. This is what we got going on in the backyard right now. The dogs have kind of filled that in, but that's okay. They can dig that out with a shovel. It's just loose soil, and it goes all the way over to the faucet over there where the dog's water is. Caleb and Dandy's out here right now. But anyway, as you can see, it goes all the way back to the well house. And this is the tree that they took down. They also took down one of the plum trees that I had out front that was dead. It was completely dead. And they also had to take out the peach tree over on the other side. It was dying. Last year, I noticed one limb didn't produce anything, any leaves or anything, and then this year more than half of the tree didn't even produce leaves, and so it didn't produce any fruit at all. So we took that down, and they're supposed to trim, I don't know, yeah, you'll see that big oak tree back here. Let me get closer so that I can't tell how much the camera shows. So that big oak tree right there, not oak tree, I'm sorry, maple tree. They're supposed to trim that up, but unfortunately that tree is dying. They started cutting into that tree, and it's hollow. A lot of it is hollow. A big portion of it is hollowing out. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is, other than the tree is dying, and you know, if it's hollow, it's not safe. But it is not next to anything except maybe the truck. So there's not really a whole lot it can fall on. It can, I guess, if it fell this way, hit that pole and the truck. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of damage that this tree can do. We didn't like the quote on what it would take to get the tree down. They were already out here. They were already doing a considerable amount of work. And then the quote, as they got up there, it was, so we're already paying them to trim it, right, to prune it. And so the quote that they gave us just didn't seem to align. So it didn't make sense to have them take it out. So that they're not going to take it out. They are going to trim it up, and that'll be less for us to have to deal with later. We are going to get it out of here, but that will be later. Let me show you the well house. So this had a couple of black walnut trees right there in front of that pole. You couldn't even see that pole. A lot of people wouldn't have noticed that pole was there, you know, unless you look for it or you live here and you see it mowing up under it and everything. So we had to have those trees removed. And then they took the roof. They took the roof off of the well house. Can you see it? Yes, they took the roof off the well house. We're going to replace that. There was a skunk, a live skunk in the well house when they went in. They said they got it out with mothballs. I don't know how that works. You just kind of throw it in and run or what. But the skunk is gone, they tell me. I guess I better pay attention now that I think about it. So the skunk is gone. Man, you can smell the mothballs though. And they're gonna lay a foundation, a concrete slab there to set the new pump on. They took everything out. They took everything out here. Everything is pulled out of the well house. They're leaving the walls. I really like the walls. They're more than likely rock that came off of this property. So they're leaving the walls, and I'm happy about that. They're gonna make a new door, put a new roof on, and everything's gonna be new. And let me show you where the water is gonna be, because I don't think that I was explaining that well. So you have it going that way towards the house, and then you got it coming up this way to where the other pump is going to be. Is that called a pump? What is that called, where the water actually comes out? Please leave me a comment down below. Tell me what it is called. Is it a faucet, a pump? I mean, what is that? So we're over here, this side of the shop. The pump, faucet, whatever that is right in there. You can't hardly do anything right in there. We're moving it to right here. And if you guys remember this area, I've used many times to go back through here. I can just run a hose from this and water. I don't know if I want to step. I haven't been back here. It's kind of grown up. There's a gate right there, and we had a stock tank there. And I can just, from this not very far distance at all, to run a hose to that stock tank to fill that up with water. Remember when I ran out of water, when the rural water went out, I didn't run out of it, but the rural water went out here recently, this year. I was taking water. I was taking 5-gallon buckets of water on the side-by-side out that way, and had a stock tank out that way by the fence and filling it up that way. This is the same area, because I had the cows over there on that side. There's like a little 2-acre fenced-in pasture, and I had the cows over there because they were getting ready to give birth to calve, and I didn't want them way out, you know, just wandering around where I couldn't keep an eye on them. So this would have been a much simpler deal, just to turn on the well water and use the well water at that time that my water went out. And like I said, I have been without water a few times. Not as long as this last time though. That was ridiculous. But so this will hopefully prevent that, or at least some of it. Electricity goes out as well, then I need to think about, I don't know what I would do. I really need a pond. It feels very good in the shade with the breeze blowing, but tomorrow and the next day it's supposed to get up to 97 degrees. So I guarantee you, in the morning before I leave, I am going to make sure that all the waters are filled. It's about all I can do. Fill everybody's waters. Usually fill the waters in the evenings and feed in the mornings, but when it's going to be really hot, I definitely feel completely up. The water's in the mornings as well. I kind of feel sorry for the animals, but I guess they're used to it. Chickens are over there enjoying the shade that I put up for them. I almost wonder if maybe I shouldn't put some more up. But we are in the middle of July, and August is just going to be hotter. Man, I hope not. 97 degrees, that's hot enough. So I am not sure if you guys are going to be able to hear me. Gotta hide from the wind. I am really excited about everything that's going on. These are things that I worried about every time. Like the tree, every time it stormed, I would worry about that. That isn't something that I thought about all the time. I actually enjoyed having the tree there. It was always cool coming from the house and coming back this way. All the trees gave shade, and I really like that. But every time it stormed, I worried about that tree. And then I'm always worried about the water situation, especially in the heat like this. But I worried about it in the cold. I worried about the pipes freezing. But this water company is notorious for having breakdowns of some sort and shutting off the water. And this last time, it was several days in the summer. And so I'm glad that we're going to get this well up and running, and then getting the dogs outside. That'd be huge. That'd be huge. You don't even know how big that'll be to get the dogs outside. So Maggie and Tucker, not Maggie and Tucker, Tucker stays out here with the goats, but Maggie and Caleb were jumping the fence, so I couldn't leave them outside unsupervised. And I mean unsupervised, because if an Amish buggy went down the road with horses, either one of them could jump the fence, and that's something that I couldn't risk. Well, putting up the you guys saw where I put up the cattle panels up against the fences, and I raised them up just a little bit so they were higher than the fence a little bit. That because I got to set them on blocks, and plus they're taller than the fence. Well, that kept Caleb in. Caleb didn't get out after that. But Maggie still does. Maggie still jumps the fence. So Caleb, if I can get him out here with the bucks, right now he's staying in the backyard, but if I can get him out here with the bucks and bring Chester and Maggie to the backyard and Dandy to the backyard, that would be great. Let's see if I can. Nope, wind's still blowing. So it's hot here. I want to get in the shade. Let's try this. Maybe this will work. I won't really know until I edit. But so getting Maggie and Chester and Dandy outside will be great. I will have to get some, there's no real shade out there. There's shade over there, but there's no real shade. I need to work on that. I will need to get them each a dog house. There are still stuff that I have to do, but these changes that are taking place will make a big difference in my quality of life and my quality of sleep. Because there are things that I don't have to worry about as much. Now, water could still have a problem there, and it's not up and going yet. We're assuming there's water in there. It used to work, but having that well house fixed, having the well working will relieve a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, help me sleep better at night. I'll sleep better at night knowing, in a storm anyway, knowing that tree is not there. And then of course, just getting the dogs, the dust from rotating dogs, because some of them can't stay in the yard and some of them can't get along with another one. I have a lot of dogs. This is a game changer. This is really going to change my quality of sleep for sure. So the wind has picked up. It's 94 degrees. I'm sweating, and that wind feels really good. But the problem is, when I'm recording with this camera, I don't have a microphone on. I don't know if I could get a microphone. I don't know if I could get a microphone for that. I don't know how that would work. That's something I need to check into. But anyway, I don't have a microphone on it, so you guys, you wouldn't be able to hear me if the wind's in it. It would get quite annoying. So I'm going to go try to hide from the wind. So you guys know that maybe I can get over here. I don't know. You guys, I told you that I sowed Rain's little buckling. that the people that bought the other 2 bucklings were going to come back and get him when he was ready. And he was ready on the 3rd of July. And I contacted them, and they're like, well, I can't get him this weekend because we're going out of town. Well, that made sense because, you know, the next day was the 4th, which is a Thursday. And then, you know, it makes sense for them to go out of town for the weekend. So it was supposed to be the following weekend, which I think is this weekend. It was supposed to be, they were supposed to pick him up on Friday. Well, the day before, they texted me and said that a family emergency just came up and they're sorry for wasting my time. Now, did a family emergency come up? I have no way of knowing, but it was very frustrating, very disappointing, because the best time to advertise a buckling is when he is smaller and cuter. So all this time I hadn't been advertising him because they said they wanted him. So I had to real quickly put him back up for sale, but I didn't put any more ads up until yesterday. I advertised him in a few different places along with Pebbles does, her little doelings, and a guy reached out to me a couple hours from here and said that he wanted both the does and the buckling. And so today I loaded that buckling and Pebbles 2 does up, and well, I didn't let them come out here, but I took them and we met up, and I sold them those 3. So those 3 are gone. They have new homes. These people, some of you guys are always interested in where they go. These people do not, this is their first time with goats, but it is certainly not their first time with animals. They have had cattle, they have had horses, they have chickens right now. They have a lot of chickens, and they have dogs. I don't know if they have cats or not, but they have had snakes as pets and even a monkey. So I'm pretty sure they can figure this out. They were asking a lot of questions, and so they were eager to learn, eager to listen. I think these guys will be all right at their house. You need to be sprayed for flies. Where have you been anyway? How come you don't bring these babies up like y'all did the other babies last year? They don't bring these heifers up nearly as often as they brought the steer calves up last year. They were always up here. And I got to kind of know their personalities and everything, and it was easier to tell them apart. These 2 black heifers, they have to be standing next to each other to tell each other apart. And I have no idea about their temperament, because the cows don't bring them up here very often.